Hello and welcome back to Game a Movie Recap channel. Today we're going to tell you the storyline of a movie titled Defiance from the year 2008. This movie tells us about the story of the massacre of the Jewish community in Belarus during World War II. In the heart of World War II, three Jewish brothers lead a courageous struggle for survival and resistance against the Nazi regime in the dense Belarusian forests. And so without further ado, let's find out together in this video. But before we start, please support our channel by subscribing and click the bell icon for future notifications. Now, let's start. In 1941, the Nazis began expanding into Belarus. Nazi Einsatzgruppen troops and local police hunted down Jews. Within 1 week, 50,000 Jews were killed. Another 1 million Jews were either waiting to be killed or deported. However, the Bielski siblings managed to evade capture. We are shown Zeus and Asael returning home to find their parents not killed. Fortunately, their youngest brother, named Aaron, managed to survive by hiding beneath the floor. They fled into the forest, and there their oldest brother, named N4zi, who had a family, joined them without his wife and child. The Bielski siblings, 4 in total, were now complete. Initially, only these 4 managed to survive, because they were very familiar with the vast wilderness of Belarus. However, Aaron discovered another group of Jewish survivors in the forest and brought them along. To meet their food needs, N4zi sought help from Cossack, a non-Jewish friend of their father. But when the police came on patrol, N4zi hid in a shed where he found other Jewish survivors. Fortunately, Cossack managed to deceive the local police chief, who was hunting Jews, especially the Bielski family. He was willing to collaborate with the Nazis in exchange for 500 rubles for every captured Jew. Once the situation was safe, Cossack asked N4zi to bring the other Jewish survivors as well. The next day, N4zi, who learned that the local police chief was the one who killed their parents, sought revenge and killed him along with his 2 sons, sparing his wife. Every day, more Jewish people joined them. As their numbers grew, they began constructing a simple camp and dividing tasks to ensure their survival. We are shown Peretz and Jakov, 2 Jewish fugitives, desperately begging for food using a rifle. N4zi gladly accepts them. They come from the area where Zeus's wife and child lived. We see Zeus deeply affected as he learns that his child and wife did not survive. He blames himself for not being able to protect them. This drives Zeus to seek revenge, and he convinces Peretz, Jakov, Asael, and N4zi to go to the nearest village. There, they kill some villagers who help the Nazis slaughter Jewish people. They also kill a lone Nazi soldier. As a convoy of Nazi cars passes by, they stop due to a fallen motorcycle. Seizing the opportunity, Zeus and the others attack with whatever weapons they have. Zeus manages to seize an automatic rifle and kill the Nazis. Just when they think it's safe, a Nazi platoon attacks them. Peretz and Jakov get shot, and Asael is chased by several Nazis into the forest. N4zi and Zeus manage to escape after sabotaging the Nazis' vehicle lights. In short, after the deaths of Peretz and Jakov and Asael's disappearance, there was a sense of disappointment within the group. We see Zeus becoming too emotional when he finds out that a stranger has managed to infiltrate, even though the person is also Jewish. These fugitives are also worried about their survival in the forest, as food and medicines are running out. Soon, N4zi emerges as a leader and convinces them to cooperate in their mission to survive. To make a long story short, N4zi, Zeus, and Ben return to Cossack's house to ask for food. Unfortunately, Cossack has been killed by the Nazis, with a sign declaring him a lover of Jews hanging around his neck. Cossack's surviving wife shows them the hiding place where Asael is. It turns out that Asael is not alone. He is also with 2 women named Bella and Chaya. They return to the forest and start building a new camp. Zeus, Asael, and Ben then intercept a milkman and loot his supplies. We are shown a family from the place where N4zi has recently joined. Ben also informs N4zi that his wife has been killed. Everyone is sympathetic, and fortunately, N4zi accepts it with resilience. One day, a group of policemen, assisted by the milkman, starts hunting them. The Jewish group hurriedly leaves their camp and crosses the river. Meanwhile, N4zi, Zeus, and the armed men try to hold off the police on the riverbank. They open fire on the police and the milkman. Outnumbered and not familiar with the terrain, the police eventually choose to leave. This Jewish group goes deeper into the forest. While patrolling, N4zi and Zeus are found by a group of Soviet Red Army partisans. In front of their commander, Tuvia explains that they share the same goal, which is to fight the Nazis. The commander eventually lets them go with the condition that they provide some men to become soldiers. In short, the Jewish group has found a new location and started building a camp again. Every day, more Jewish refugees join them. Again, due to their increasing numbers, internal conflicts arise between Tuvia, who welcomes the newcomers, and Zeus, who feels burdened. Eventually, Zeus and some like-minded individuals decide to separate and join the Soviet partisan army. We are shown Tuvia and Asael approaching another large group of hidden Jewish refugees in the ghetto. After guaranteeing their protection, this large group agrees to escape to the forest with them. In short, upon arriving at the camp, Tuvia explains the survival tactics in the forest. He emphasizes that everyone must participate in the work, and they will rebuild a free Jewish life in the Belarusian forest. Additionally, while Tuvia allows for romantic relationships among the refugees, he forbids anyone from getting pregnant. As the group grows larger, Tuvia changes the way they refer to themselves, calling them a community. We see Asael and Chaya developing a beautiful romance, and at the beginning of winter, they have a wedding ceremony witnessed by the entire community. However, while they are celebrating, Zeus and the Soviet partisans are intercepting a Nazi convoy and eliminating them. In short, winter blankets the land with snow, making food even harder to find. Tuvia is forced to sacrifice his white horse for the community's food. We are shown Tuvia's interest in a woman named Lilka, and he gives her his jacket and pistol before she sets off to find food. In the middle of the forest, Lilka is confronted by a wolf, but manages to fend it off with Tuvia's pistol. Meanwhile, disease begins to spread within the community, and their medical supplies are running low. Their only option is to request medicine from the Soviet partisans. Tuvia sets out to do so, initially facing rejection from the partisans. However, Zeus, who still has a lingering connection, works to obtain the medicine, even if it means raiding a Nazi base. Tuvia, who is ill, is asked to wait in the car while Zeus, Ben, and N4zi infiltrate the Nazi base. In the end, Zeus manages to seize the medicine but gets shot in the process, while Ben and N4zi lose their lives. In short, after obtaining the medicine, a new problem arises regarding food rations. We see a man named Arkady demanding a larger share, and rebel followers of Arkady begin to betray Tuvia's leadership. However, Tuvia doesn't let this bother him. He takes matters into his own hands by killing Arkady and telling his followers to leave if they disagree with his leadership. In the meantime, Tuvia, who had been bedridden with a fever for 2 days, is seen recovering, and during that time, Lilka cared for him. Turns out Lilka had received medical training at the university. Time passes and spring arrives, and Tuvia's community commemorates it with a photograph. The women are finally able to bathe in the clear river again. We are also introduced to a woman named Tamara, who refuses to bathe with the others. Lilka discovers that Tamara is pregnant and doesn't want Tuvia to find out to protect her pregnancy. In short, Tamara gives birth, and Tuvia eventually finds out. He is furious because Tamara disobeyed his orders and wants to expel her and the baby's father. However, Lilka pleads with Tuvia to forgive Tamara, because the baby's father is a Nazi soldier who raped her. Tuvia reluctantly accepts Tamara and her baby. However, the arrival of spring also means an increase in the hunting of Jews by the Nazis and local police, who are intensifying their efforts. We are then shown a Nazi spy being captured near the camp. He carries a letter indicating that the forest will be surrounded and attacked. Meanwhile, the Nazi prisoner becomes the target of anger from the community members, who vent their fury over the brutal deaths of their families at the hands of Nazi soldiers. In Tuvia's embrace, Lilka encourages him to keep fighting despite the looming hardships. Meanwhile, at the partisan headquarters, they are preparing to leave the forest to avoid the Nazi attack. Zeus, on the other hand, is torn because he still worries about his family, who will be in danger if the partisans leave the forest. Nazi reconnaissance planes begin flying over the forest. Tuvia orders the community to relocate, but before they can depart, German bomber planes arrive and drop bombs that destroy their camp. Tuvia's hearing is momentarily impaired after the explosion. After a while, when the bomber planes leave, Asael instructs the surviving members to depart. He and some warriors stay behind to confront the potential arrival of Nazi infantry. Chaya insists on staying to guard as well, but Asael forces her to leave with the group. Finally, Tuvia persuades her to leave as well. As expected, a large group of Nazi partisans, aided by local police, attacks them, resulting in a firefight. The Nazi forces even use mortars to destroy the community's defenses. One by one, community warriors are killed, leaving only a Sale. Meanwhile, Tuvia watches as the remaining members move deeper into the forest. Unfortunately, their path is blocked by a swamp, and a debate ensues among them about whether to cross it or not. Tuvia, who is usually very decisive, is helpless in the face of their dire situation. Then a Sale arrives with an injured individual and suggests tying themselves together and linking arms to cross the swamp. They begin traversing the vast swamp, and an exhausted elderly man is assisted by Tuvia. They struggle together until they reach the other end, but the elderly man cannot hold on any longer and eventually dies. In short, a sudden attack by a tank and Nazi infantry from within the forest catches them off guard. They take cover in a depression in the ground and return fire. A firefight ensues, but they are outgunned because the enemy has a tank. Eventually, Tuvia and one of them, named Isaac, take a detour and ambush a group of Nazis. Tuvia uses a Nazi's weapon to eliminate more soldiers near the tank. The tank's barrel is aimed at them, trapping them. Isaac is willing to sacrifice himself to blow up the tank, but he gets shot and explodes before reaching it. Suddenly, from behind the forest, some of the Soviet partisans who had separated from them come to their aid and eliminate the Nazis. It turns out that this small partisan group is led by Zus, and he successfully disables the tank. After that, Zus decides to rejoin Tuvia, and they continue to live in the forest, moving from place to place for a total of 2 years until the war ends. Despite being hunted, their numbers continue to grow. In the forest, they establish a school and a hospital. By the end of the war, 1,200 Jews have survived. A Sale joins the Soviet army and is killed in action. He never sees his child with Chaya. Meanwhile, Tuvia, Zus, and Aaron survive the war and migrate to America to build a trucking company in New York City. The epilogue also states that the Bielski brothers never sought recognition for what they did from the descendants of the people they saved, who now number in the tens of thousands. And so the film concludes. What do you think of this movie? Write your thoughts in the comments section below. Also, did you enjoy the recap? Hit the like button if you liked it, subscribe if you loved it, and feel free to share this content with your friends and family as well. Check out our channel to find various movie recaps of your liking, and don't forget to ring the notifications bell to stay updated with our future videos. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.